started to record. And I'm using the closed caption. That's something new I'm using on my presentation. It's much easy to follow, especially since we have so many languages coming on board. So we got Suriname, we got St. Lucia, Jamaica, Bahamas, we have Brazil, and I think we got our friends from Canada there somewhere in there. I think I saw guys from Canada coming in there. And we got Mr. Tony Amaral from Lagunitas. We got everybody on board today. This is great. Good morning, Tony. Nice to see you on the West Coast.
Good morning, Victor.
So we got Tony having a coffee and we have Hilton having a beer. That is fantastic. Okay, so we're ready to start, and it's 9:30 in the morning, and this will be the first part, and we're going to be doing a nice refresh of Heineken Way for Sale, which most of you guys already basically have taken the course, and so we're going to do a nice refresh, and I have done some adjustments in a good way, adapting, especially things that are happening today in our actual situation, and also I added as well, and I invited my good friend Hilton Jacobs. For those of you that don't know, Hilton, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself briefly? And I know tomorrow we're going to know more about you, but just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, yeah, my name is Hilton Jacobs, and I'm from South Africa. I live in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm a regional capability manager in Cape Town. I cover almost half of the South African section for Heineken. So yeah, really amazing company to work for.
Fantastic. No, thank you, Hilton, for joining. I know you're very busy, so thank you for taking the time, and you're going to hear more about Hilton sometime today, but for sure tomorrow, since we're basically splitting the session in 2 days. And again, I'm going to try to make it as much interactive as possible. So if you have a question, I have my mobile unit next to me, so I can see all of your questions. So feel free to type in and jump in. Okay, we want to make it as interactive as possible within the time frame. Okay, so as you know, within the Heineken Way for Sale it really tells you what a selling process should look like. Okay, and then you're adapting your selling, your step of the visit within the selling process, which is what we teach through the Heineken Way for Sale. Okay, so some markets might have 7 steps of the visits. In Brazil, usually they use 10, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Luis Felipe. Other countries, they use 15. You know what? The most important part, that within those steps of the visits, you are following the selling process, okay? Because as we teach on Heineken Way for Sale, selling is a process. Selling is not an event. If you treat selling as an event, you're just an order taker. Okay, so things that we teach very hard is to develop that sales, to become a sales professional, to become a consultant for your customer. That's very, very important. It takes time, but that's exactly the way that I want your customer to see your sales rep. Okay, to become a sales advisor, a sales consultant. Okay, because it's going to take that relationship by far, to the next level. And you don't have, big point, you don't have to be a market leader to do this. Okay, sometimes I visit markets and they think that because I only have 1% of the market share with my brand, that doesn't mean I cannot do this. No, you have to do this all the time, okay? Because this helps in driving sales. This helps in improving the relationship with the accounts, okay? And that is what is going to take you to become the number one, look what is happening in Ecuador. Ecuador is doing fantastic work in their job, in their work over there, and in a matter of 3 months, they already captured 3% of the total beer market share in 3 months. That's just amazing, and it's just exactly doing that. It's driving the conversation, understanding the needs of the customer. Understanding what really drives the business, which is service among other things, and they're seeing the results. Okay, so overall, the vision of the company is to be a leading brewery at the point of sale by optimally positioning our brands every day, perfectly executed. I added that at each point of sale. Okay, now I'm going to open this to the public. I got to make things here. Why I'm getting all these things now? Come on. Get out of my way. Okay. The top 2009 selling challenges. Okay. What do you think were the 5 most pressing challenges for the sales professional? You guys are the expert. Tell me, according to your market, what you're seeing from your sales rep, what do you think were the 5 most pressing challenges for the sales professional? Go ahead and open the mic. Anybody?
Egg size format.
Yes. What else? Yes.
I think you can understand the needs of the point of sales.
Understand the needs. Okay. Of the point of sale. Yes. Okay. Of the customer. Yes. Price. What else?
So we just talking?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So right now, because for obvious reasons, we have to tighten up as a company. And so just really changing the way of working with these customers and trying to get more with less. So investing less in the customer, but trying to maintain and increase volume. So that's a challenge, definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rami. I forgot. Also have Bahamas person. Thank you. So let me give you the 5 more. Customer needs, and you want to see that all the things that we're mentioning on this research done, it was not done by Heineken, but an external company. You're going to see that it's going to match exactly what we're going to cover on the refresh of Heineken way for sale. Number 2, negotiation. When to negotiate, or if I'm doing negotiation correctly, or I don't have the skills to negotiate. Some of the pressing challenges.
Yes, sorry to disturb. Your screen has changed to Facebook.
Oh, Facebook? I don't have Facebook.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm seeing Facebook on my side.
That's funny.
Yes, same here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm seeing Facebook as well.
Yes, it's in Facebook also.
Okay, let me know if you can see now.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Now that's. Oh, okay. I know where it got. No problem. There you go. Now I stay here. Understanding customer clients' needs. Negotiation. Number 3, building strong sales arguments. 4, managing accounts and building strong business relationships. And number 5, selling skills. Okay, how can I increase my selling skills? So we're going to go one by one, and I'm going to match those pressing challenges within the framework of the Heineken way for sale process. Okay, number 1, within the selling skills, number 1, delivering compelling value proposition. Okay, that's fundamental. Positioning insights that shape a customer thinking. Asking insightful and relevant questions to understand customer needs, as I mentioned, and challenges. And number 4, matching the benefits of our solution, our products to customer needs. And my friend Hilton tomorrow is going to talk more about that. So this is typically what you guys have seen from the Heineken way for sale. Step 1 or process number 1, engaging the customer. Number 2, understanding customer needs, selling the benefits, closing the sale, and execution. I will add step 0 or process 0, which is planning and preparation. Okay, that's for me, that's key. You know, my day is going to go as per the plan and how I prepare for my presentation. Okay, if I did not prepare for my presentation and if I did not plan accordingly, I know that most likely my day is going to go bad, most likely. Okay, so planning and preparation for me is fundamental. Okay, it's very, very important that they are well prepared before they go out to the trade. Okay, that way I know exactly what are the objections, possible potential objections, who I'm going to visit, who's the client, what is it need, the personal style, you know. So you get to prepare account by account. And you know, you might go to some countries that you guys only visit maybe from 10 to 15 accounts, or you can go to a market like in Colombia that they do between 80 and 85 account visits per day. Okay, that's just impressive. You know, I can say that of those 80 to 85 accounts they visit, maybe only 20 they really do selling. The other 60 is more order taking. Okay, so we want to make sure that we maximize the market visit. Okay, so in preparation of the week, I included this to-do list. I'm not going to really go in depth, but it really gives you a good insight, okay, of not only preparing for the day, but also preparing for the visit. Okay, and if you have your handheld, you have your computer, it allows you to this to facilitate the preparation and the preparing of the visit. Especially today with the COVID, these things have changed. Okay, most of them is done virtually or by phone, or basically they're not allow you. If you go to the street, you're not allowed to basically enter and interact as you were interacting in the past. Okay, so engaging the customer, which is developing good relationship with our clients so as to establish a positive basis for the business presentation. Okay. Now, when we develop good relationship with our client, is to establish a positive basis for the business presentation. So, number 1, we use customer information to develop good relationship. Okay, every account is different. Okay, the only thing that I would say that have one thing in common is that every account is here to make money, is to make a profit. Not only them, but also us. So I want to use that customer information, to develop that good relationship, because at the end, you know what, I want to make sure that I develop a long-term relationship with that account. Okay, I adapt, number 2, I adapt the personal style to reflect the client's motivation. Okay, and later on, when we get into the questioning and listening, and we get into identifying interpersonal styles, okay, we're going to get more in depth in terms of how to adapt your personal style to reflect the client's motivation, and go from how do we go from personal into the professional conversation. Okay, the importance of developing a relationship with clients. If we don't, we cannot sell them effectively. Okay, and as you can see on the right side, you have the customer relationship dial. So when we're engaging the customer, one of the things we're facing is, by keeping eye contact, you can really read the nonverbal communication with your customer, with the buyer, whether he's positive or he's negative. If it's negative, that's a sign, hey, something is wrong here. I need to clear this out. I need to find out what is happening, okay, in order to move that needle into the positive side. Okay, so that way I'm in good condition to proceed within, within my selling visit. Okay, because if I try to drive a sell when the customer relationship Dow is on the negative side, most likely a couple of things going to happen. You're going to be pushing a sell. If you push a sell, it's going to cost you money. That might be one area. Number two, if it's on the negative side, you may see opportunity to present a great promotion or a great execution that you're going to present, okay? Because the guy is negative, he's not really paying attention to what you're saying, then you lose that opportunity. So make sure that that customer relationship Dow is on the positive side. Sometimes what I do, if I see that that account, the guy is really, really upset because of XYZ, maybe it was a service that somebody else provided to him, or he's too busy, you know what? I ask, listen, if you're okay, I can come back later. And I make another appointment to come back in later if my route to market allows me to do it. Okay, that might be also a possibility that I would do. Okay, look the customer in the eye and maintain good contact at all times. Use sign language, non-verbal language and tone to ensure a smooth transition. Okay, gradual transition from the personal to professional business. Okay, usually this is for me. Usually when I go and visit the accounts, I'm based in Puerto Rico, so this is a distributor market. So almost every other week, I'm visiting the accounts with the local reps, especially the key accounts, and I participate with them on the market visits. So we go with a strict guidelines in terms of agenda, and I like to do that smooth transition from the personal into the professional. Depending on the cultures, some cultures they like to get into the personal matters. For me, and this worked for me, okay, I try to keep the personal out of the business because sometimes I have to say no to the account, and I don't want that account to take that no against me. Okay, remember, I'm here to make money and the customer is here to make money. Both we have to win. Okay, so I don't want him to see, well, Victor is my good friend, he's my good buddy, and I don't know why he's saying no to me. Now he's going to use that no against me. Okay, so keep that in mind. But again, that's my position, and so adapt it according to your market. Okay, engaging the customer. Another recommendation is therefore important to develop good relationship with customer on the long term, for sure. Okay, if we don't, we cannot sell them effectively. A good start to a relationship is not just a chat, it's about developing good relationship by taking a real interest in the customer. Taking a real interest in the customer. Okay, remember, this is going to set up for the next process, which is understanding customer needs. Okay, that's key. Okay, now, any questions so far? Okay, because I really want to put a lot of attention in understanding the customer needs. Let me see. Let me go here. Okay, good. Can you see my Hilton? Can you see my my presentation, right?
Yes, I can.
Got it. Super. Okay, so now we transition from the personal into the professional, which is understanding customer needs, which is a develop an in-depth understanding of the customer needs and motivation in order to tailor our sales argument. I cannot emphasize it, my friends. This is key. The difference between an order taker and a consultant is that that person really take a close look in terms of understanding the customer needs. Because if you understand the customer needs, you're going for sure it's going to help you to develop strong selling arguments. Okay, if you skip this part, most likely you're an order taker, which means that most likely you are end up giving too many promotions. Okay, so here are some notes that I update the presentation for you to use in your respective market. So understanding customer needs. Number one, creating value and insight during the conversation with the client. One of the reasons why we're interacting with the customer is because I want to get some insight. What's happening on the business? What is working here? What is not working in this account? Okay, especially now with the COVID. Okay, everybody's reopening, so the needs have completely changed. The insights have completely changed. So you have to adapt. Okay, forget about what worked back in March. That doesn't work anymore. You have to update the needs of the customer. Okay, so generating valuable insights start by understanding the customer core issues. Okay, they need to know the root of the problem. Once the sales professional understand the issue, then they can measure the impact of the problem. Okay, number 2, overcome buyer's objection and any misperception of what they need. Sometimes we assume, as sales professionals, sometimes we assume that everybody needs the same thing. No, we need to make sure that we understand what really drives, what really are the needs of the customer. Okay, and I want to ask this open question to Suriname and to Brazil, to Sao Paulo. Okay, let's start by Suriname. What is the number one customer need right now in Suriname for the customers? Go ahead, Claudio.
I would like my colleagues to answer that also.
Okay, go
Yes.
ahead.
Marshall, Marsha, you guys are sales officer that mostly now on the field. You please share your information.
Brazil, get your answer ready. Okay. Okay, let's get to Brazil. Brazil, what is the customer need right now? The most important customer need, remember, we're coming out of COVID slowly but steady. In some markets, they're opening more than others. What's the customer need right now? Customer need, most important customer need right now that you're facing in Brazil. And the rest, you can go ahead and use the chat to send me the answers.
I believe our customers must make profit very fast.
Profit, okay, okay.
I think I agree that profit is important, but I think in the right moment, they need to bring the consumers to the point of sales.
There you go. Absolutely. And I see Travis saying customer safety. And yes, profit is on the top of the pyramid. Everybody here is to make profit. Okay. But now as we go down on the pyramid, we go into the heart in what really drive the business and what is the need of that buyer within that business. And yes, safety, as Travis mentioned, definitely safety is big time. Here in Puerto Rico, for example, the restaurants are only allowed 25% of people to go into the restaurant. All bars are closed. Okay, so wow, it's tough to make a profit when you're only dealing with 25%. Okay, of your customers. Okay, Tony, in the United States on trade, fast turns will limit capacity. Exactly. Off trade in stock condition. Absolutely. Okay, and yeah, the same thing we're having more or less the same thing here in Puerto Rico, because you got restaurants at 25% capacity, and you want to really turn those tables very, very fast to try to make up, because the bars are closed in the restaurants. You can only buy alcohol and it can only be served at your table. You cannot go to the bar. The bars are completely off. So imagine that. Okay, so sales professional must first create a safety zone by normalizing the situation and reassuring the customer, okay, that misrepresentation are common. Next, the sales professional should clarify their intent to share their perspective. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Mark in Jamaica, bars need customer. Yeah, yeah. The problem is that the government doesn't allow the customers to walk into the bars, at least here in the island. But yes, absolutely. Right now, rebuilding that confidence level on the consumer is going to take time. okay? Because a lot of people feel that they don't feel safe walking into a bar right now, okay? Okay, supermarket needs smooth in and out of shopper. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So exploring client issue and challenges to define the strategic impact in your solution. Okay. Now, each stakeholder has a different perspective or value. Okay, so you need to really understand what really drives that business. Okay, let me see what here you go. And different understanding of the key challenge, the difference can lead to a misalignment. So number one, exploring client issue is a challenge today because buying decision come from many stakeholders. Why do I put this thing now? Because sometimes if we go to a smaller, maybe the decision maker is only one person. But if we go to a larger account, maybe it's two person, or maybe it might be three or four. You know, you go to a supermarket, might be a lot of stakeholders. I want to make sure, okay, I want to understand who are the decision maker, who are the stakeholders. I want to get involved in that decision making, okay? I want to get involved in that conversation. An order taker is not really going to take, it's not really
I can't hear you on this side, Victor. You went silent.
He may be having connection issues.
Wait, 1 second.
Are you back?
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now.
I hear you now, yes.
Okay. Sorry for that. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, yes, and I got full connection, no problem. Okay, so let me see, where did I stay? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to repeat my last statement here. So the statement I was saying is, as a sales professional, I want to make sure is that I understand and I can identify who are the stakeholders in that given account. Who is the decision maker? Okay, because I want to make sure that my conversation is also involved in their conversation, that my opinion is also involved in their conversation. An order taker is going to skip this process, this step, okay? Now, you know, you're basically part of the rest. I want to be different. I want to make sure that my opinion is basically, you know, circulated around the stakeholders. Now I'm going to, for sure, I'm going to impact much more, you know, on the decision maker of the company based, you know, based on my recommendation, based on my selling arguments. Okay, so this is something, you know, that came from the research, and I will forward this research results back to you guys, because it really has some very nice recommendation on how to drive the conversation. How can you change that decision making? Because remember, sometimes when we go to the accounts, they see that they treat our beer like a commodity. Okay, all the beers are the same. If you're an importer or you're a local beer, and then you see that all the local beers are the same price and all the imported beers are the same price. Why? Okay, and then the only way that the owner thinks that they can sell your product is or by a promotion or by a discount or by something else. Okay, we don't want that to happen. We want that they treat your product, okay, as it should be. This is Heineken, this is Biela, this is Piton, okay, and not just treating them as just a regular commodity, okay. And later on, I will get more into in terms of what I mean about a commodity. So understanding customer needs, number one, developing the understanding of the customer needs and motivation in order to tailor our sales arguments. Our advice, monitor execution standards at the point of sales to identify the gaps and the opportunity. Definitely using questioning and listening. Then we have to prioritize. They'll probably talk to you about 20 needs. You identify 20 needs. What is the priority today? Okay. Maybe in December it might change, and maybe next year it might change. Okay, and then that's going to allow us to adapt the objective of the trade commissioner visit. Okay, now you guys have seen this many times. This is the triangle of ditch, and Brazil mentioned it very well. Profit, profit, profit. Okay, that's usually on the top. Everybody's here to make a profit. Okay, not only you, but also the customer. Okay, and then you have the what I call the supporting business needs and the unique business needs. Depending on the account, some of them might work with mix of volume with margin. Others might be high volume, low margins. Now, what really changed constantly, especially now, is the unique business needs and the personal needs. Okay, that buyer most likely, or he's a business owner, or he's working for somebody else. I need to understand what drives him in the business. Might be a bonus, a performance bonus. He might be working for somebody else, for his boss. Okay, that's number one. Number two, then what drives the business? And the business, depending of the class segmentation, you know what? Maybe the business name might be, send me promotion. I want only premium brands, price stability. I just mentioned a couple of them here. Now, the key here is once you identify them, now you have to prioritize them. What is important for that account today? Okay, might be beer freshener number one, new customer number two, and local sponsorship number three. Maybe in December, it might be service number one, promotion number two, and beer freshener number three. Why? Because based on this, you will be able to structure your sales arguments. So here I have a quick 3-minute video where it really describe about understanding customer need. One second. Oh, wait. One second. I have to share the voice to 1 second. Sorry about that.
Look at it from 3 aspects: business goals, decision criteria, and personal goals. Let's start with business goals. The improvement each person is trying to achieve with the project.
Victor,
Why
Mark
is this so
here.
difficult to understand?
Yeah.
Because quite often
The video is
customers
playing, but
express
it's your
their
PowerPoint
goals
that is on
in
the
terms
screen.
of the solution they already have in mind. The ability to use your know-how and challenge the customer with good questions is an excellent way to help them define their real needs
Yeah, 1 second.
and ensure that you're solving the
There's
right
no
problem.
video with Victor, just the sound.
Yeah. Got it. One second. I got back connection. 1 second. My apologies. There you go. There you go. Now I got it. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen again. Sorry.
I could see your screen, but it's just, I can't see it now.
There you go. Now you can see it.
And it's your presentation, your PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, you can see it now.
Your PowerPoint presentation, not the video.
Okay, the video is coming out. Let me know. Rami, let me know if you can see the video.
No, we can't, not now, not yet.
Okay, it's loading.
Okay.
There you go. Can you see it?
every salesperson
Share
will
it, we can't see it.
understand.
No picture,
Okay.
only sound.
Okay, let's skip the video. I'm having some technical problem. You can see my presentation now, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
the presentation. Yes.
That's okay. I'll put it tomorrow when Hilton is presenting, no problem. Okay, so it's a short video, 2-minute video of representation of the importance of understanding the customer needs. Okay. Okay, so in terms of understanding the customer needs, you know, how well do you really understand your customer? Okay, priorities and perception, the customer point of sale, the personal life, as I indicated at the beginning, client business or activities, you know, what are their goals, what are their objectives, what are their problems, you know, what are the challenges, okay? You know, we don't always know our customers as well as we should, you know, and this is hard to do, okay, because we don't have a lot of time, especially when you're visiting, you know, 15, 20, 30 accounts per day. This is, you know, it really takes time to build this, okay, to really build that foundation, okay, in terms of developing that relationship into a long-standing relationship with that specific account. Okay, and that's something, you know, that takes a long time. Might be 2 minutes here, 2 minutes every week. Okay, but that's something that every single sales professional should really drive, because let me tell you, you don't know if that account that buys from you one case tomorrow might be your 5,000 a week case account. Okay, so I spend as much time building relationship with the accounts as I can. Okay, of course, that doesn't mean that my big account, that doesn't mean I'm not going to really, you know, forget about them. I'm going to dedicate as much time as possible, but I will never forget about that one case account. Okay, because I want to make sure that I really understand what drives that account. How can I help him? Because eventually that might be your start tomorrow. Okay. And like I said on the second step, we don't always spend enough time getting to know our customer. We sometimes make the mistake of thinking we know when we don't really know. Okay, that's the part of the we assume. I assume, and I assume, and I assume, and we assume too much. 99% of the time, we make a mistake. Okay. Now, in terms of understanding customer needs, how do we do that? Questioning and listening. You guys have seen this from Heineken Way for Sale. The 4th type of question: open, close, probing, and leading question. So if you're a telesales in San Lucia or in Bahamas or in Suriname or in Brazil, questioning and listening, that's the key of their job, okay? Because they're not present, but you know what? They're very good listener, and they ask one question, and just by listening to the person, they can know if the person is sad, if the person is upset, if the person is open for recommendation, so they can really understand. If not, just go ahead and try it. Next time when you talk to somebody on the phone, you know, you smile. Hi, Hilton, how are you? How things in South Africa? You know, just by smiling, you know exactly that he's smiling, you know, over the phone. Okay, so use this, you know, or a mixture of open and closed question to really gather the information. Sometimes our sales professional thinks that this is a competition of who talks the most. Okay, sometimes, you know, we have to be quiet, use the silence to your benefit. Okay, one question, I stay quiet, allow the other person to answer. Ask another question to probe what he or she just told you. So use that combination in order to build your customer needs. Okay, and again, the same thing, through listening, to a good listening, we're going to be able to understand really what is driving that business, and you will be able to see where is that customer relationship down, if it's on the positive or if it's on the negative side. We have 2 ears, one mouse. We use that in that proportion. Now, like I always mention, 60 to 65% of our conversation is through nonverbal communication. Okay, especially now. I mean, a lot of the sales visits have been done over the phone or basically over a virtual conference now with your mobiles. So one of the things that I always tell to my sales rep, especially if they're using the mobile, is try to put the feature, the video feature live. So that way you get to see eye to eye your customer. Okay. So one of the things that I have been using on this conversation with you guys is I have kept my camera on. So you guys are seeing me. Okay. So imagine if I would have the camera shut down and me doing the presentation, most likely, you know what, this will probably be a boring presentation. Okay. So that's why, I use the camera, okay, based on the situation that we're facing right now. It makes that, in a way, more interactive according to our situation today. So use the technology to your benefit. So if the customer have the camera function available, do a video phone call, a video conference. It really, really makes a big difference versus just talking on the phone with the guy, okay? Now, we can frame our needs in 3 areas, okay? Regardless whether in South Africa, California, Canada, Bahamas, Jamaica, and so on, in 3 areas: financial needs, operational, or image. Okay, so I can capsule all those needs on those 3 areas. That way will give me a good framework. Okay, what are the priorities? Well, for X account, his main priority is image. Within image, he wants new coolers, new ladies promotional ladies. He wants free goods or free POS material, where it applies or where it's legal. Okay, operational. If we go to Ecuador, well, we want merchandisers to come here every day. It's going to affect my financials. So it's key for them to understand what are the needs of the customer, and you will see they will change. Today is image, but you know what? Maybe in December might be something else. So especially now that we're going through this situation, the needs are always changing. Okay, for us in Puerto Rico, after the hurricane in 2017, the number one need was service. That's it. For 3 or 4 months was service, 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 service. Okay, the one who adapted to those needs really, really won. Okay, the salesmen back then, they end up selling 35% more beer versus the competition. Okay, another area that I said that is one of the another area that was important for the sales rep is negotiation, maintaining profitability, and I will come back to this later on tomorrow. Okay, when Hilton brings this up, when we're talking about selling arguments and closing the sale, working with clients who continue to reopen the negotiation. Okay, that means they want more concession. Okay, I'll keep that. And gaining higher prices. So let's keep this up for tomorrow, okay? Because I want to really put more time on it into that aspect. As a resume, as a conclusion, understanding customer needs is therefore important to understand the client's need. If we don't, we cannot sell them effectively. As soon as we understand the customer needs better, we can adapt our selling points and make them more effective. And it's essential to take the time during the market visit to seek and to know the needs and desire of our customer. Again, if we've skipped this process, this step within the process, or if you don't have it included in your step of the visits, my friend, we're spending a lot of time, a lot of money in order to close that sale. Okay, we're not becoming a sales consultant. Basically, we're more about order takers. Okay, and I have seen how much all of your markets have progress in this area. So we need to continue to emphasize this aspect of the sales team, because most of the time when the salesman cannot close a sale, most of the time is because they didn't really understand the customer needs. That's it. I said over 90% of the time. Okay. So with that in mind, you know what? let's talk a little bit with Hilton. We got some good things about selling the benefits of our products and our service. So Hilton, go ahead. It's all yours, my friend. Can you see the presentation of Hilton, Arame? Cape Town? Just give me a yes. Give me a yes on the chat.
We can see it. Yes, we can see it. Yes, we can.
Super. Go ahead, Hilton. Food control.
Fantastic. Well, Victor, thank you so much for the opportunity to share the Heineken Way for Sales with you guys. I think it's one of the most important modules that we train at Heineken. A little bit of history about me. I've been with Heineken since they started in South Africa, which is about 4.5 years ago. And I've been in sales capability since then. So just to give you a little bit of history about South Africa, I live in Cape Town, which is one of the provinces in South Africa. The whole of South Africa, we have about 60 million people, just under 60 million people. There are 35 different languages, of which 11 are official languages. We've got an unemployment rate of about 30.1% at the moment. The US dollar is worth 16.68 South African rands. So your currency is really strong in South Africa. So if you guys wanting to come and travel, Cape Town's beautiful and your money is really strong over here. With regards to Heineken South Africa, we've got about 994 full-time staff and 378 sales staff, as you call it, sales professionals. Okay, so that's just a little bit of history about South Africa. At the moment, we are going through power outages. So we're on stage 4 at the moment, which means we have 4 power outages per day, which ranges from an hour to 2.5 hours per session. So
I guess we're not the only one.
you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Just to give you a little bit of COVID stats, in South Africa, we've just gone, I think, 3.6 million, just over 3.6 million tests. COVID tests have been executed. We had 625,000 positive cases, of which 539,000 is recovered. And unfortunately, just a bit over 14,000 deaths, okay? And within the Heineken framework, we've had 65 cases of COVID, of which 43 have fully recovered and 12 are busy recovering at the moment. So that's just a little bit of background, okay? And due to COVID, we actually had a complete lockdown of alcohol sales. So from March till July, it was a complete lockdown of alcohol sales. And then they reopened alcohol sales for 3 weeks. And then they closed down alcohol sales again. So as from the 13th of August, they just reopened alcohol sales again. So we've been in a complete close down and banning of not only alcohol, it was cigarettes as well. So they've just reopened as from the 13th of August, and our guys are ready to go. So yeah, I'm glad that we could actually start selling again, which is fantastic. Okay, selling the benefits. Really, really important step, guys. What happens in this step? We need to formulate and communicate a compelling selling point that meets the needs of our customers. Okay, so what's amazing about this is that we can actually customize the situation, customize the solution that balances what we want from as Heineken and what the customer actually needs. Okay. We sell benefits rather than features. We'll get into that in a little more detail now. We use sales levers to influence customer choice. And then we actually use sales tools and selling points to overcome objections from customers. So let's get into a little more detail. So you've got a product or a service, okay? We can break that down into a feature, an advantage, and a benefit of that actual product or service. So the example used over here is the David draft system. So this specific draft system has got a disposable tube. That is a feature of this draft system. What's the advantage of this disposable tube? It means that you don't have to clean the line. So that's the advantage of that actual feature. But what is the benefit of that? It means that you can save money on cleaning costs. So we need to be able to break our products up into a feature, an advantage, and a benefit. Okay, this is really important because customers do not really understand the benefits that they can derive from. And also it says here, profits are really important. Customers buy benefits, they don't buy features. The characteristic speaks about the product, but the profit actually solves the product. We can personalize this benefit to meet the needs of the actual customer. So I am going to use a local example now. This is called Fox Apple Cider. This is a new product that we just launched in South Africa about a month, just over a month ago. Okay, so I'm going to the customer and I'm presenting this now. So what would a feature be of this specific product? Well, it's a green bottle. It's got a gold label. It says it's got a dry, refreshing, crisp cider. So that's features of the specific product. What are the advantages? Well, it looks premium. It's available in a can, a bottle, and a big bottle, so 330 ml, as well as the 660 ml. And it says on the dry, refreshing, crisp cider. So that is a taste profile that a lot of people, especially South Africans, they love the dry, crisp taste. And together with a 5.5% ABV count, it's actually very, very high. And usually our other ciders are between 4.5% and 5%. So this is slightly higher. So this is advantages of the specific product. But now what would the benefit be of this to the customer? Now I need to look at the type of customer that I'm actually dealing with. So I mentioned the features and the advantages. But with regards to the benefits, okay, remember we're splitting our customers into financial, operational, and image driven. So if I was going to a financial person, I will take the benefit and say, Mr. Customer, this is coming in at a fantastic price. It's a very affordable product. It's targeted at our mainstream. So it's coming in at a very attractive price, and it's coming in as a premium offering. So obviously, premium offering, great price, catering for the palate of your consumers. This is definitely going to get feet into your store. It's going to get people talking about it. The ad campaigns are rolling. People are going to be asking for it. You're going to have it available. More people are going to come into your store, and that would equate to more money in your pocket at the end of the day. That would be financial. If I was looking at operational, I would say, Mr. Customer, I'll tell you what, let me place the order for you. I'll put in 60 cases, for example. I will ensure that it gets delivered with your next delivery date. I will place the order. I will send the reference through to you so that you can make payment. And I will ensure that when it lands on your next delivery day, my merchandisers will get here and they will merchandise the specific section that you've allocated for me. Get the pricing up. You won't really have to do anything other than make the payment. That's how I would target an operational customer. For an image-related customer, this is a premium offering. It will help get your outlet looking more premium. And also, because it's fairly new and we are running all these ad campaigns, it would be fantastic for you to get it. You'll be seen as a trendsetter, first to market, willing to try new things, and that could boost the image of your store as well. So that's how I would actually present the benefit to the various type of customer. So that are financial customers, operational customers, and image customers. You can actually vary the benefits to fit into the customer. But guys, it's really, really important that you're understanding who you are speaking to. Okay, you want to tailor make your benefit to fit into that specific customer. Okay, so sometimes it's difficult to identify exactly if it's financial, operational, image. Sometimes they're a combination of all three. but there's generally a dominant personality trait. And that's the one I would actually target when I have my selling conversation with a specific customer. So that's just an example of Fox. I'm going to use one more example. So this is a new system that we've just launched called the Blade system. It's a draft system. Okay, and we are targeting this at on-trade outlets or on-consumption outlets that don't have draft units, because either space limitations or they're just really premium and they only do bottles. So these types of outlets are getting targeted with this Heineken Blade system. So what are features of the system? You don't need big gas canisters and big tubes, pythons running through your bar counter. Okay, it's fairly small and it's got a real premium look and feel. The advantages is you don't need gas, so it's less space, less cost. There's virtually no maintenance on this unit, and it's also got that disposable line, so you don't need to clean it. You don't need to spend money cleaning the system, and it's really easy to use. So what would the benefit be to the actual customer? So let's split it up into financial, operational, and image customers. With a financial customer, they've not been offering a draft offering, so this would be ideal. It's slightly more expensive, but it would be ideal for his top class clientele that comes in there. They are now able to get a premium quality draft on tap. So this would increase his profit margin. For operational customer, listen, this is so easy to use. It takes up less space than a coffee maker on his bar counter. We don't need to drill into your bar counter at all. It sits in the counter, really low maintenance. You just need to make sure that you buy those little 8-liter units that fits in top under the dome. And once you're done, you can discard and recycle those units. So real easy to use. For an image person, this is going to premiumize your bar counter. It's a premium product, it's a premium looking unit, and it's a premium offering. So that's how I would actually sell it in to either a financial, an operational, or an image-driven customer. Okay, so it's really, really important to tailor-make the actual benefit to the customer that you're speaking to. So you may need to change your selling conversation based on the customer that you're selling to. Okay, so I'm hoping everybody is happy with that. Without further ado, let's move on. So now what we've done is we've got our characteristic or our feature of the product, and we've got the need from the customer, the solution that the customer is actually looking for. And once we can marry those two together, that's where we actually get the benefit. That is obtained when we can meet the characteristic and the customer need, and we can bind them together. So as I said, really important, know your customer. Make sure you target your presentation to the right type of customer. So now we need to drive value with this customer. And how do we do that? At Heineken, we've got a set of value drivers, a set of customer value drivers. Okay? Financial terms, assortment, service, activation, consulting, and then right on top of the pyramid, we've got relationship management. So these are the major factors that can be leveraged to influence customer choice of supplier in order to drive point of sale penetration. So let's get into a little more detail. We call it FASTCAR. Okay, that's a little anagram given to it. So this is going to assist us to sell from the depot into the outlets. Okay, this is going to assist us with the sell in. So let's see what it actually stands for. FASTCAR. F, financial terms. So this is a combined financial benefit that the customer earns from Heineken relating to product margin, discounts, payment terms, contracts. There could be rebates. It's trying to optimize profit for the specific customer. So these are the financial terms that we can use to assist him to buy in more of our product. And then we've got assortment. So what assortment says here, the range of products or brand or pack types offered to a customer to satisfy their shopper's needs. Guys, this is getting the right product into the right outlet, the right SKU. If the guy does not to cans, make sure that we can get the bottle in there, because if we get the can into this outlet, it most probably won't work. So understand your customer and what their needs are, and ensure that we have the right range of product, the right SKUs at the right outlet. Okay, we don't want our products to sit, we want our products to move. Make sure we have the right products in the right outlet. Then we've got service. So what is service? It's all activities undertaken to facilitate order generation, delivery and merchandising of our products. This also includes maintenance of Heineken equipment related to selling the product. So these are all the services that we can offer to the customer that he doesn't pay for. So as a sales professional, we are actually a service. The customer doesn't pay us, Heineken pays us, but we go to the customer to service the customer. So that's a service that's getting offered to him. In South Africa, they don't pay for deliveries. So that's a service that's offered to the customer. All their fridges and their draft units, they get fixed and serviced for free. The customer does not pay for that. So these are services that we offer to the customer that he doesn't pay for. So that can be leveraged into a conversation as well.
Hilton.
Yes, sir.
Can you press the presentation mode on the PowerPoint, please? There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Then we get through to consulting. So the information and advice given to customers to assist them in optimizing their business to meet both their and Heineken's objectives. Guys, we act as consultants. We are the professionals out in the industry. We see what's happening. We know what works. So basically, we need to keep the customer aware of trends in the industry, and we can act as a consultant to that specific customer to help him drive and optimize his business. The A stands for activation. So these are all the activities, materials and equipment that Heineken prepares and delivers to customers to help them increase the rate of sale of our products. So this is just activations around our specific products. And then right at the top of the triangle, we've got relationship management. So guys, this is the mutual interest that we have with our customers to help him grow his business in a mutually beneficial way. So that is FASTCAR. Guys, very important that you understand what FASTCAR means, because this is the ammunition that we have where we can assist the customer to drive value in his business.
Super.
Very important. Yes, sir.
No, fantastic. Your point. You know, I really appreciate, and there you go. Some learning key sales argument. This is from the ERZ. You know, just some example of some key selling argument of their brand. And I'm pretty sure that by market, you guys already developed these key selling arguments. It's easy for the sales rep to replicate and to communicate to the end customer. Remember, we have to prepare this in a simplified way to the sales professional to execute. If we make it hard, the sales rep is not going to use this tool. Okay, so that's the key, is for this to be basic as possible, easy for them to one pager. I mean, some markets are not even using page anymore, so everything is digital. So that's very key. Hilton, can you go to the page before we have 3 more minutes? Go to the page where you have the representation of FASTCAR, selling and sell out. Go back.
That one?
Yeah, go back in your presentation. There you go, that picture, that's it. Okay, and one more slide.
That one?
The one that shows the selling. There you go, good. So I like this picture because it really gives a nice representation of what happens in order to drive business from your warehouse to somebody else's warehouse. But the selling process is not finished yet. Okay, and tomorrow we're going to continue with with selling, with the benefits and closing the sale and the activation, because now we have to take care of the part of creating the sell out. Okay, and for our friends in Brazil that you have close to 160 distributors, or in the United States you have close to 500 distributors, we need to balance this out. What we do to create the sell-in, and what do we need to do to create the sell-out at the point of sale, which is very, very critical. Okay, and the difference between a sales professional, a consultant, and an order taker. The order taker, the only thing he cares is just about pushing cases from the warehouse to the point of sales, and then what happened in the point of sale? Nothing. Okay, so we want to make sure that they understand, okay, the balance between the customer value drivers and the consumer value drivers, what is really going to drive the sales, the sell out. Okay. Anything else, Hilton? We have 1 more minute before we close the session for today.
I just think dealing with objectives. Are we going to cover this tomorrow as well, Victor?
Yes, we're going to cover this tomorrow. Yes, we're going to start. Actually, we will start with this tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I don't want to rush through this because this is really important.
Okay.
So I think I will call it over there, and tomorrow I would just recap. Yes. And then just focus a bit on, can you prepare for an objection? How do you prepare for it? And what different types of objections are. So I think I'd prefer to rather spend a little bit of time instead of rushing through this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hilton. So guys, it's 10:35 a.m. Again, thank you for your time. This is a good refresh. All of this PowerPoint presentation will become available on the Teams America's Digital Sales Academy, and the same thing with the video. I will make that available later today. In Brazil, I will send it over to Bruno and to all the respective market. The same thing in Canada to John Brecken. So that way you guys can have access to this video. You guys can always recheck as many times as you wish. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us. And that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you guys have all the tools, so that way you guys win at the point of sale all the time. So guys, thank you so much. And Hilton, thank you. Tony, everybody, Canada, Suriname, I mean, all over the Caribbean and Latin America. Thank you again for your time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:30. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you so much.
Vic, I just need thank you. I just need a minute of your time.
Okay, guys. Yes.
Have a good day. Bye, Hilton.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.